The TOEFL test is considered by many to be one of the most challenging and tricky language tests out there. And while it's ideal to have plenty of time to prepare, there are situations when you may have to take the test at the last minute. So, if you're one of those people and you need to take the TOEFL in a matter of days, this is the video for you. Of course, the score you get depends largely on your current level of English. I think everyone will agree that it's impossible to improve your English level in a few days. However, what you can do is increase your score significantly by learning about the structure of the test, important tips and strategies for approaching each section, and of course, using the right templates. Knowing all this is a game changer. I've been teaching TOEFL for more than 10 years now, and I see that students with exactly the same level of English can get completely different scores, depending on whether or not they know little life hacks about the test. For example, I know hundreds of students who consistently score 22 to 23 on the speaking section because they use templates incorrectly and do not know how to organize their answers effectively. I've also seen students take the test 15 or even 20 times and still not get the score they need. Why? Because they didn't analyze what they were doing wrong and kept taking the test, trying to finally win the lottery and get the score they needed. However, the key to successful TOEFL preparation is knowing what you're doing wrong and what you should be doing to score high. So if you have a TOEFL test coming up, click on this link and enroll in our TOEFL course, where I'll share all the tips and tricks that allowed me to score 119 out of 120, and that enabled my students to get the scores they needed in a short period of time. The key feature for those who are preparing last minute is that once you join the course, you'll get access to all the lectures, which means that you'll have all the information you need to know about the test in just 2 days. Now, let's get started. Imagine you only have 2 days to prepare for the TOEFL test. What should you do to make the most of those 2 days? Spend the first day familiarizing yourself with the structure of the test and working on the first 2 sections of the test, reading and listening. First, you need to understand the format of the test. The TOEFL consists of 4 sections: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. In the reading section, you'll read 2 academic passages, followed by 10 questions. You'll have 35 minutes to complete this section. In the listening section, you'll listen to lectures, classroom discussions, and conversations, mostly in academic settings, and then answer 28 questions about them. This section takes 36 minutes. The speaking section is the shortest part of the test. It only has 4 tasks, and you have 16 minutes to complete them. The first task requires you to answer a question in 45 seconds, while the others require you to read short texts, listen to lectures or conversations, and discuss what you've heard and read in 60 seconds. Finally, in the writing section, you'll have 2 tasks. One is called the integrated writing task. You'll have to read a passage, listen to a lecture on the same topic, and then summarize the information from both the passage and the lecture. The second task is called the Writing for an Academic Discussion task. It asks you to write a short post expressing your opinion in response to the professor's question. It's only 10 minutes long. You can find more information about each section on the ETS website. However, since you only have 2 days to prepare, don't waste too much time on it. You will understand the structure of the test much better once you start practicing. Now that you know the format of the test, it's time for step 2, take a full practice test. You can take a free practice test on the ETS website, or find practice tests for each section on YouTube. During my one-on-one sessions, I like to use YouTube speaking simulations with my students because you can always go back and forth to ensure better understanding. Once you complete the full-length practice test, you will have a better idea of the test format and be able to identify your strengths and weaknesses. I recommend that you keep a spreadsheet of your scores. You will receive a score for both reading and listening when you finish. However, evaluating your speaking and writing skills is a little more difficult. You can try to do this on your own using the speaking and writing rubrics provided by the ETS, or you can have them scored by me during our consultation. So, step 3 is to identify the sections you're more confident in and those you are struggling with. Now, step 4 involves practicing the reading and listening sections. Even though they seem easier than the writing and speaking sections, you should still take at least 2 to 3 reading and listening practice tests. Believe me, I see tons of students who struggle with the reading section, not because their reading skills are bad, but simply because they don't know how to approach the questions correctly. That is why, in our TOEFL course, we look at all the question types and strategies before we get into practice. So, first, study the question types and strategies for them, and then take at least 2 to 3 practice tests. Try to stay within the time limit. You may spend a little more time on the first practice test because you want to figure out how to use the strategies correctly. But avoid doing that on the remaining practice tests. A little tip from me here: don't read the text for the reading section. Go straight to the questions. They're all organized in such a way that you don't need to read the entire passage to answer them correctly, even the last summary question. Then, do the same for the listening section. You don't need to focus as much on the question types here. Instead, do more practice tests and work on your note-taking skills. In the TOEFL listening section, you'll first have to listen to long conversations and lectures, and then answer the questions. You won't be able to listen to the recording again, so your notes are your only chance to make sure you get all the questions right. They'll also ensure that your mind doesn't wander and you don't get distracted. You can use abbreviations and symbols to help you take notes more quickly. For example, I usually use arrows instead of writing "as a result," "this is because," "this leads to," and so on. A little tip from me: as you listen to the audio, try to predict what the speaker will say next based on the context and your understanding of the topic. This can help you stay engaged and anticipate the flow of information. Write down 5 to 10 new words from each reading and listening test that you didn't know and that prevented you from getting the correct answer. I remember when I was practicing, I would just have notes open on my phone and I'd write down every word where I'd be like, "Oh no, I wish I knew that word." It would have helped me answer the question. Just write the word down in your notes and translate it after you finish the section. Then, try to make up small sample sentences to help you remember it. You can find reading and listening practice tests on the ETS website, on YouTube, or on the KMF and Weishu platforms. These are Chinese platforms that offer free practice tests. Their first page is in Chinese, but once you select the test, you'll be redirected to a completely Chinese-free website that will simulate the conditions of the test. This is important because if you practice with paper resources, you will not feel very confident on the day of the test, and you may lose points. Also, if you feel that you don't have enough time to complete a full reading or listening practice test, you can practice with this website. It allows you to do just one passage and 10 questions, or listen to a conversation and answer questions afterward. There is no timer, so you'll have to time yourself. Don't forget to enter all your scores in the spreadsheet to monitor your progress. If you see that your listening scores are good, focus on the reading section, and vice versa. Now, for day 2, focus on speaking and writing, and set aside some time at the end of the day for final review and confidence building. Step number 1, begin with the writing section. Complete at least 3 integrated essays. You can use the KMF platform for practice questions. The integrated task requires you to read the text and listen to a lecture that contradicts the text. It's important to work on your notes and typing skills. To improve your typing, use the Fast Fingers website. Start with the top 200 words. Then move on to the top 1,000 words. And finally, take the individual typing test. Step number 2, work on the writing for an academic discussion task. There are many examples of prompt questions online, so just use Google to find them. Since you've already practiced your typing skills, you should just focus on answering the question and providing enough detail. Simply put, this assignment is about answering a question in a short post. Write at least 150 words instead of the 100 words the assignment requires. Also, review grammar points that are challenging for you. In our TOEFL course, we have a special lecture dedicated to the most common grammar and vocabulary mistakes students make when writing essays. be sure to watch it carefully when you take the course. It will be more than enough to brush up on your grammar. One important tip: if you want to get a higher score with little preparation, use templates. These are small structures to help you organize your essays and allow you to score higher with the same writing skills. For the integrated essay, your template will be about 100 words long, which means that if your essay is about 200 words long, it will make up half of your answer. Step 3. Practice the speaking section. Once you finish the writing section, it's time to practice the speaking section. Start by working on the first question. Find a list of Type 1 questions and work on answering them in 45 seconds. This question looks like this. As you can see, you should answer the question and provide reasons and examples to support your opinion. You only have 15 seconds to prepare, so your main goal here is to fight panic. If you feel overwhelmed, just give one reason for your opinion and one long example. Once you feel more or less confident and can speak consistently during the 45 seconds, you can start doing complete speaking sections. As I mentioned earlier, you can find practice speaking tests on YouTube. This will allow you to listen to a conversation or a lecture again, or spend more time reading the text. It's important to do this at the beginning because you're just getting familiar with the structure. Again, the key to doing well in the speaking section is using templates and speaking confidently. As with the writing section, templates are key to helping you organize your answer in 45 or 60 seconds. Finally, as you near the end of your 2 days of preparation, take some time for a final review and confidence-building exercises. This is step number 4. Review key concepts, strategies, and any notes or flashcards you've made during your preparation. Focus on your strengths and address any last-minute doubts or uncertainties. Also, engage in activities that increase your confidence and mental preparedness for the test. Well, that's it for today. Preparing for the TOEFL in 2 days is undoubtedly a challenging task. But remember that with careful planning, focused practice, and a positive attitude, it's entirely possible to achieve great results. While time may be limited, your determination and dedication can ultimately lead you to your dream score. For focused practice, click on the link and get all the materials you need to ace the TOEFL. Don't forget to let me know in the comments below what score you need and how many days you have to prepare. I wish you the best of luck on your test day. Keep us posted on your progress. Until next time.